So today we are honored. We are going to speak to one of the great filmmakers to know everything about this business and how it works. Rofy, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Okay, my title is a filmmaker, editor, and content creator. These are the main titles. Uh, I work sometimes in advertising or creating video content for certain businesses. I work sometimes also in um, in the food and beverage section, like restaurants, hotels, uh, and I consider myself like a storyteller. So you just use different tools each time, but I like to focus on more directing uh, whatever sequence up to like 3 or 5 minutes. I'm still working like maximum. This is the limit I'm working with, but I'm aspiring to create short films in the future.
So
Yeah,
my first
that's
question,
briefly. Yeah.
yeah, you will do great. So my first question here, how would you define your directing style?
Okay. I'm still sculpting my directing style, but until now, I'm aiming for a more natural approach with people, whether they're models, actors, or actually just day-to-day people who have no experience in acting in front of a camera. Uh, Part of my job is to make them comfortable so they can be in a natural setting. So they will give me the reactions I'm looking for. I'm not imposing a certain style. Actually, my style is inspired by these people. So this is my style in a nutshell. But we can talk more as you ask more
And,
questions.
and how do you select the people you work with?
Uh, Very diverse methods. Mostly just through social media as I'm browsing and seeing other people's work. For example, if models, then I'm checking accounts on Instagram, for example. This is the most platform I'm using on social media. Um, every time I see someone in a certain setting, I start getting inspired. It's like, okay, this person would be suitable in this concept or mood. And what else? Sometimes in real life, like just my friends or people I know, I would see their reactions or their character, and it gives me a vibe or inspires me. Like, okay, this could be a cool idea if we do this or that. And some of my recent works during the pandemic, using minimum crew and sometimes as a one-man crew, just working directly with just one um, uh, character or one person. Yeah, um, this is mostly how I start choosing people. Yeah,
So you mentioned the pandemic and you are the director, like the main person on the scene. What are your responsibilities as a director, a filmmaker, like someone who manages the issue?
yeah. Um, some points are to constantly educate yourself and humble yourself uh, by talking with other people all the time and getting ideas or getting feedback or criticism. This helps me, like being a good listener, to sum this up, to sum this point. Being a good listener, and you will find like ideas, and people have a lot of input sometimes. Even normal people, not even actors or models. Just you need to uh, give them the space, and to reach that space is part of my job. So each time is different. So I like the flexibility and challenge that comes with each person, and so I enjoy that. As art from an artistic point, you need to be like sensitive to light, shapes, sounds around you all the time, um, and motion. I always think in motion, moving pictures. So even if I'm sitting with friends, I start imagining, okay, I could frame this and move the camera like that, and oh, I like the sounds. I can hear the frying of the French fries, for example, waiting for our food, stuff like that. Uh, okay, to come back to more responsibilities. There's always to tell the story. You don't always need the latest or most expensive equipment, but it needs to be suitable for each job or sequence or even film. So even though I'm still an aspiring filmmaker, I didn't work on like huge production sets, but I'm trying to perfect using minimum crew to tell the story until if it's needed to up our production, then that's fine. But work on perfecting the short or small content you have, and then expand. That's my style. Other people work it differently, but this works best for me. Um, yeah. Um, One point I think is important, and we usually don't uh, hear it from other filmmakers, or at least I haven't, is being like managing yourself and managing like your mental health as well, for yourself, for personal growth, but also this will reflect on how you deal with your subjects, and you deal with your film, and you deal with their art. So a lot of people, they boast on the idea of overworking yourself and having no sleep and continuous hours and burnout. This is a very toxic culture, and that's why I wanted to take this into my own ground to create my own team. I'm assembling my crew. Currently, I have an art direction team, and we work together to create like short sequences with our own style, from production style, from artistic style, from how I manage the shoot as a director. So this is my responsibility, but of course each one will have different ones depending on the production size and the goal in the end.
Let's shift into another area here. It's about how do you generate your ideas? You mentioned that you can capture certain motions, certain areas, certain ways to like photograph or get it on the camera. How do you usually
Yeah,
get your ideas?
yeah. Um, this is the fun part of or not the only part. I enjoy most of the process. This is part of the process, and part of the process is just like I said, being sensitive to the environment around you and people. Um, so I'm always observing in real life or on even social media. Uh, just and I'm always walking with my either like a notebook or my cell phone if it, because it's more accessible, and writing down notes. Like if I see it's like, oh, this is a nice place,
Okay.
we can use this location, for example. Sensitive to light, so at this time of day this location is the best lit. And and as for people, like I said, just watching, uh, it's like people watching, you know, and but putting it into practice. Like I later contact these people and introduce myself and introduce what I think could be an interesting either collaboration or a paid work, um, and so on. So I developed a habit of saving posts, but in categories. So I don't get lost. So each time I get inspired, or it's like, oh, this is good, this is well done. Someone else's work, or either photography or video. Um, I'm also a musician, but I don't play in a band. I just jam. So I'm very sensitive also to sounds and music, and I save them in different categories for later projects, because not all the time I'll be having a clear idea, of course, in the start, but I get inspired, or I see glimpses, short seconds of videos, and I start recording each idea, just putting it down. Of course, not all ideas, like I said, are mature enough in the beginning, but saving them allows you, when you come back to it later, you can develop it and turn it into a short sequence, or if you want it, a whole like a short film even. write
So
a script or something. Yeah.
my next question here is how personalized, how much personalized are your productions? How
Could you
much of you,
explain more? What do you mean?
how much of
Like
your,
is
how much of yourself do you put into your productions?
right. Right. This depends on if it's more artistic than design. Like the difference between art and design, or like working, for example, in ads, in advertisement and marketing. I need to lower my character. Just of course there is input I'm putting, but it's not that personalized because there's a certain goal and certain style. So even I can create something that's not even reflecting who I am as a person. Like in advertising, we're shifting more towards perfectionism, and he needs to be very articulate and well done, and a certain goal, and it's selling a product. Sometimes I'm not convinced with the product, but this is design. It has a certain value, and that's fine. But when I create my own short films or productions, no, this is completely I have complete freedom, and I discuss with my team how we which direction we want to go, but it's completely our vision. So I work with the two styles in parallel. Like I used to be, it's like, oh, I need to have my full self in the production, but if this doesn't help the marketing concept or the brief that we discussed with the client, then then no, this is not healthy or not. I mean, helpful for the goal.
Okay, so my next question here, we are like developing more the idea of yourself in the productions. You are a content creator, a storyteller, and a filmmaker. What
Yeah.
main characteristics of yourself can be seen, can be shown in these areas? Like what can your audience look for you, I mean, in these areas?
Uh, okay. Um, could you rephrase the question? Like,
Yeah, especially okay. So, for example, your audience are looking for you, are reading your content. So,
yes.
where can they find you? Where can they sense your words? Where can they see your feelings in your content?
Okay. Okay, so to answer this question, I'm more focused on storytelling. So I'm not just creating visuals, just like pleasing visuals. Sometimes that's good, but I like to tell a story, and usually it's more derived from a documentary kind of perspective. So a more natural kind of approach to life, but it's still the beautiful aesthetics and using filmmaking tools, but just to enhance a certain moment in time. Um, so rather than just pleasing the audience all the time, I have to accept that if I'm more personalized, and it not always will be accepted by everyone. So I'm still in the process that I might not be popular because if I'm trying to be very specific, but I still appreciate that more. And I'm I'm also really interested in psychology, like I mentioned, on a personal level. But this also reflects um, the concepts or things I care about. So sometimes I'll show a part of myself, a personal part of myself, and reflections, and whether it's like a voice note over, sorry, not a voice note, a voice over a certain sequence. Um, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So my next question is, how can you like elevate, increase, like gain wider reputation and be famous globally, internationally?
Yes, yes. I'm working on that currently. Like I'm like I said, I'm sculpting my style, and having a crew that we can work together, and we have good communication, so we can create very like a well produced short film or so. Uh, I'm still searching how to market myself or find these festivals, but there are Egyptian filmmakers who focused on creating a short film, not just short sequences like what I currently do right now. And yeah, so either to work or collaborate with people internationally, or work, which I'm trying to aim for, work with local artists here, and then we're gonna try, we're gonna target certain festivals. But currently, we don't have like a script for a short film. But I'm always, like I said, sensitive to what people are sharing online. Sometimes they write a short just reflection or post, and oh, I would contact them. This is very well written. Could we start working on that to create a short film? And if it's it will take a lot of time and effort to perfect it to compete globally. But people have done this, and it's impressive and inspiring to see Egyptian filmmakers, especially in the independent filmmaker scene, not just mainstream. So yeah,
What do you
future
think?
plans.
Great. What do you think the main differences are between working for the local scene and working on the international stage?
Hmm. Um, Working locally, do you mean like to be previewed like in cinemas, or
Yeah, I
just
mean
as a
the
local market?
yeah, in the local market, the differences between the local market and working on the international stage. How would that be different for you?
Yes. From my perspective, working locally could be mostly uh, driven by revenue or money, or you're trying to be known in this scene so people can hire you to do similar jobs like you're doing. But there are some people, of course, in the independent scene. Um, so it depends. If like internationally, people usually are focused more on the art, and they're trying to enter certain festivals because they appreciate this craft like that. So locally, you can target either more money approach, and this will affect, of course, the tools used and the editing style. I mean, the directing, the whole production. I mean, the whole production style. But if you're aiming for festivals, then it's usually different than what you see mainstream. And it's not usually that widely popular, because uh, mainstream works because there are certain things, or uh, whether in style or the writing or content. So a lot of not a lot, but there are many movies that have um, low like low content level, but it's just visually pleasing, or it's just has a certain to generate money, and it keeps on patterns. So yeah,
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
um, it's always a difficult question, but I think I would like to create a short film, and but I'm still hunting. I'm still hunting for a certain script that would inspire me to put in the effort, because it will take months, uh, yeah, of preparation and sculpting that. So that's why I'm working on shorter goals right now. But yes, yeah.
Okay.
I hope I'll be more focused. Um, Currently, I don't see that as a bad thing, being like the Joker card or the jack of all trades, like as a one man crew production, like shooting, editing, and directing. But I think I still believe in when you're more specialized in just one area, um, it will create a different result. But till now, directing the shoot means you need to know almost a lot about each field in your production.
Yeah, sure.
So
What
we'll see.
what are your recommendations for the new novices or the new people who are getting into this field?
Um, okay, there's one important thing, like I said, it's not always about the equipment. A lot of people will always try to sell you like the latest technology. It is valuable and needed, but it's not the only way to get content, because there are content creators right now or filmmakers that are using cell phones right now. Smartphones are getting more and more advanced, and you're getting more manual options to customize and perfect most of the shots. So start like that. Start with what you have. I started with a point and shoot camera. So it was just a Kodak point and shoot, no changeable lens, 3 megapixel. It was it was for its time all right, but it was bad. But I learned just to keep taking snaps of like mental notes, taking mental notes and of ideas or of yourself. Like I said, taking care of yourself and being introspective means you're in tune with your thoughts and emotions, and this helps bring out your style, not just imitating other people's work. So of course, watching other people's work is inspiring, but if you keep on just imitating, you lose part of yourself. Um, so yeah, what else? I don't know.
It has been
There are
awesome.
different,
Yeah.
different advice depending on the job, and talking with people is always a different thing. Yeah.
It has been awesome and really, really fantastic and really inspiring talking to you, Rofi, and hearing from
Yeah.
these
Thank you for hosting me.
these talented and
Yeah.
young entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.